my mother calls it the dark ages because my years in Bangalore were terrible for her and for dad because I was just this really badly behaved kid. Like sleep through your stop at the train. So my mother's waiting at the station to pick me up when I come back home, and I've slept and I've gone to like some like five stations ahead because I'm, let's just say that I'd had too much juice.
Hey guys, so I am sure that just like me, there are a whole bunch of parents who are constantly worried, will my kids do anything? Will they make something of their life? Are they too laid back? Is not coming first? Is he going to be, I know a lot of parents voicing concerns like, is he going to be mediocre? Will he make it somewhere? These are typical concerns that all parents have. And the guest that we're actually talking with today is an engineer, MBA, and co-founder of a really, really big company. The company is called Glitch, which was acquired. And he's doing very, very well for himself today. And this conversation is important for me as a parent because I also learned that I think don't underestimate any individual. Who they are today does not determine who they're going to be tomorrow. There is a time in each one of our lives where we all make that switch, where we all know that my life is slipping out of my hands and I need to make those changes. And I think Varun is a classic example of just this. And I'm so happy to have this chat with you and I'm chat with him, and I'm sure that you guys are going to absolutely love this conversation. Varun, you come from a family that was, well to do, everything was good, there was never a pressure. And of course, now our kids are being raised with, paradox of choice. Okay, should I play with this toy or this toy or this toy? But I always feel like our generation had this hunger, this drive. How do you feel like you're going to instill that, or is that even important for you to instill into Leia? Do you feel like that's one thing you want to instill?
I feel that drive comes to you. I didn't have drive, which is why I said I was weird in my 20s because I didn't have drive. Right? I was just meandering through life. So, studied till my 10th back home. Went to Bangalore, did my 11th and 12th there. Uh, Terrible. My mother calls it the dark ages because my years in Bangalore were terrible for her and for dad because I was just this really badly behaved kid, right? I would get kicked out of boarding school because I was caught sneaking out. I would all the wrong things you can expect someone to do, like get like sleep through your stop at the train. So my mother's waiting at the station to pick me up when I come back home, and I've slept and I've gone to like some like five stations ahead because I'm, let's just say that I'd had too much juice. Uh, when I got onto the train. So and from there I felt that at some point life's going to smack you in the face, and that's what happened to me, right? So terrible engineering degree, did a 4-year degree over 6 years, worked in a call center because I said I don't want to work in an engineering space. Still eventually I did manage to go for my postgrad. When I moved for my postgrad in Pune, I actually sat myself down. I said, okay, I can't keep doing this. At some point they're going to say, why are they going to spend more, why are they going to spend time and money on someone who doesn't seem to care? And I feel we all have those points. And the only thing we're trying to do with Leia is, okay, you have a lot of options, but some things you need to earn, some things you will get. We're also not trying to make it seem like I never want to be, and I thankfully didn't have parents like that who's going to say that, okay, when we were younger we didn't have these things, right? I'm like, of course you didn't have these things. I mean, the world advances, but I feel what was interesting, what is interesting about what we're telling Leah is we're teaching her. We have this thing called red choices and green choices, which we kind of learned from her school. We've kind of taken it forward. We made a thing. So we like for Christmas, right? She had to keep making. Although my sister calls it a capitalist way of bringing in values. You make a good choice in life, you get a green star. You make a bad choice, it's a red star. So we've figuring a way that no matter what you can get in life, you have to earn it at some level. But end of the day, it's going to be her. It's going to be the world smacking her in the face, and then she'll learn from it. Is how I see it. As long as we don't make her a brat, and I think there's a fine line between letting your kid have the things you want to give them and them becoming a brat, and I think that's more behavioral.
Varun, I really need to ask you this question. Tell me about work-life balance, especially because you're in a consumer business, and with consumer businesses, there are clients and deadlines, and clients can always sometimes be unreasonable. So, how do you go about striking that?
I like to schedule things, right? When I say schedule things, it doesn't mean that you have it on a calendar. You need to have, okay, have I spent enough quality time with her? Have I taken care of the things which I have said I will take care of, right? So, as simple as those things. And at some point, and thankfully, as you kind of scale up as a business, as your role grows, gets higher, you can kind of turn around to someone and say, okay, I'm with my daughter now. Can this wait till the morning? Or can we talk tomorrow? I'm in a family thing. You're able to say those things, and that's the only way you'll have balance. Like, I was a person at terrible balance. Like, I would bring work home every single day, till at some point I was told, you're not bringing work home, right? So Rohit hated it when he and I were roommates. Pooja's hated it since we got married. And it's been a thing. So I bring it home. But I feel what's happened, especially with Leah's, I know there are certain things which I should really do, and it's not like someone has said many times I have to be told, okay, will you do this? But many times it's me like, "Okay, I know I need, like, innately yourself if you are not doing what you have to do, and you kind of throwing the load on the other person, right? So you kind of take care of stuff which they don't like to do, and that's how I've dealt with it. So early days of lockdown, dishes, jhadu pocha, I'll take care of, right? Transition from my diaper and potty face, but it's just
Yeah, for sure.
all the cleanups happen with me, right? So I feel that's the only way to have work life balance. Is I don't believe in saying, okay, mornings are with family, afternoons for work, evening is with family. For me, it's bits and pieces. You're going to be splitting things around. So I have many times I keep my about a half an hour gap in my afternoon meeting so I can hang with Leah for a bit. Just kind of be just play something with her, sit with her or something. So I break it up that way, and that's really helped me because I have a focus issue. I can't focus on one thing for too long. She has that as well, which everybody hates.
Also, you mentioned that your parents had you really, really early. So, how old or young were you when you had your child, Leah? And did that have an impact? Did you ever feel that, I feel like having kids early really helped my bonding with my parents, and I don't want to have kids very late or early?
I don't think it's really made a difference. I think there are pros and cons. I think it depends on people. But so my parents had us early. Me and Pooja have been married for now 8 years. Now I'm 38. We had Leia 3 years ago. So yeah, so I'll be like 34, 35, and I feel it was good because I feel that we settled down in life a little bit. If it was in our 20s and the kind of work we were doing, I mean, I don't think it would have been possible for. I don't know. It could have been if you have a kid, but I feel that we kind of built support systems for ourselves. I don't know if I would have been a good uh, as decent a parent. I wouldn't say good, as decent a parent as I am now. If I had a kid in my 20s, I was a very weird person in my 20s.
How old were you when you started Glitch?
Started Glitch 11 years ago, so I'm 38 now, which means I'm terrible with math, and I handled finance for the first 4 years.
Which one's tougher, to have a child or having a startup?
Hmm. I
I mean,
very,
I tell you
it's a very
my
tricky
answer.
one.
I can pop three more babies, but I think running a startup is like taking on something else.
Yeah, it's all consuming, right? You can have a kid and still have other things you'd want to do, but I guess if you have a startup, there is nothing else you can really do first couple of years. So I kind of agree with that part of it. uh, I'd say it was easier to do the startup, weirdly, for me, because at that time that was literally, so we started
Yeah.
the Glitch, and I remember me and Rohit had this conversation, right? When we started off, and what we said was, okay, great time, we don't have any responsibilities, we just need to make rent, need to be able to have enough for we said bread, bed, and beer was the thing, right? So we had the only things we had to pay for, like, 'cause we didn't have to give money back to our parents. We hadn't saved enough money. We thought we literally had money for about 2 months, I think, at max. And then so we said it's a great time to start. I feel that the lack of responsibilities, and when we started it, made it great for us to start it. I find that a lot of people, when they do a startup much later on as well, I've had friends who started in recent times who kind of say, okay, how did you handle these things? I said, I didn't have those pressures, right? When we started from our apartment, we could do what we wanted. I feel that in a startup, the tough part is once you cross the first couple of years. It's great when you're a small, when you're like just a few people or a small team, but once you kind of scale up to my threshold was when we cross like 30, 40, 50 people, is that's when it becomes real, right? Because then you have to hit payroll, you have to do those
Yeah.
things. That's when it becomes, actually, I feel those years are the most they consume you the most, physically and mentally as well, because you're trying to figure a way to scale up. Like now we're about 350 400 people, right? So now it's a cycle. Now we're in a system. It is a way it functions. You can move stuff around. But when you're at between that 50 and 100, I mean, that's like the toughest part. Like, so I would say that was the hardest part. The same as I say the first year of having Leia.
Yeah.
The first year was tough because we she's a terrible eater, doesn't feed well, so we had to figure ways to feed her. Those feeds would go on for an hour and a half odd. I thankfully didn't have to do as many feeds because at some point of time they were like, "Oh, you're not going to manage this. You want to she's you take care of the poop," as my job role was, and the night shift. But I think some of those things kind of took their entire toll on things. She had a medical emergency very early on, where there was it was I don't remember what the reasoning was, but she couldn't take in any food, and there was almost like a blockage, so she actually had to go in for a proper procedure and they had to unblock. And this is like a kid who's not even 6 months old, right? Yeah, so and she was super brave about it. Like she had to get, like, you have a 6 month old getting an IV. That's
Yeah.
heartbreaking, right? You don't know how to deal with that. So yeah, so the first year had a lot of these things for us. I feel we kind of then got into the zone of it towards the end of the year. So we won all new parents, saying first year is like the middle years of a startup.
Thank you so much for chatting with us, Varun, today. It's been an incredible conversation, and I am so looking forward to catching up with you when this is over.